Hey, y'all, and welcome back to another reaction. Now, this reaction right here is on Bryan Kohberger. His oldest sibling suspicious of his behavior. His oldest sister is suspicious of his behavior. Now, we need to talk about that. Tonight, they showed a little mini series on Bryan Kohberger, but really, it was basically the same thing that we know about the case. It wasn't nothing new to me. It wasn't nothing new. That they put it all together like they did on social media and put it on TV. Now, let's get to his sister. One of the accused killer's older sibling grew increasingly suspicious of her brother and his behavior when the family gathered to spend the holidays together. She noticed his behavior. Everybody they interviewed about Kohberger, they always talk about his suspicion is the way he look at people, and he act different, than he used to act. So I don't know how they're going because I don't know him. So we're gonna get into Bryan Kohberger's sister. She had searched his car for evidence for the police. Yeah. So we're gonna get into that. And before we get in that, can y'all go ahead on and smash that like button? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to donate it, there's a super chat that you can donate to. Okay, thank you so much for my hard work. Okay. Okay, we're gonna get into Kohberger. Now, Kohberger's sister, she kind of feared that her brother was involved in the stabbings. She felt that he was involved in the stabbing of 4 University of Idaho students before police swooped on their parents. She had a suspiciousness about that. And siblings know each other. Okay, before they got to the house. Okay. The home and arrest him. They had arrest him for murder, according to the bombshell report. One of the accused killer's older sibling, well, I just said that she increasingly suspicious of her brother behavior. That's what they said. Her suspicions were so great that at any point, several family members searched Kohberger White Hyundai Elantra for possible evidence of the crime. Now, see, first of all, they shouldn't even touch that car. See, everybody touch it, and that's messed up the report. Your evidence got everybody fingerprints on it. So they should let the police do that, but they did it. So they wiped their evidence in there. Okay. So Madison Morgan, Kaylee Caps, Zina Carnota, and Ethan Chappell was found. Hold on. Brutally. Let me leave that picture right here for a minute. I'm gonna leave that picture right here just for a minute. Okay. These are the 4 Idaho students that was stabbed in one night, y'all. All of them. And what the killer did was left only Two alive. But let me remind y'all about this situation. This is a party house. How can somebody live in a party house? All they do is party. These four don't never be at home. If anybody can go in their house and do whatever they want to do. Anybody. And somebody had to have a code to the door. You know, somebody know the codes to the door. Now, I thought about what crossed my mind is if there's a party house, there's drugs. And where there's a drugs, there's other things that go on in the house. So anybody could have did this. Now, how did just a drip of blood get on the little button part? That's of all of that stabbing, and the only thing they got was a little blood, like somebody took his blood and put it on the button. Out of all of that, y'all, and then it's no more blood nowhere else on that thing. How he dropped that? So he's not a professional killer then. And he's not a hitman. I thought he would be a hitman, but he's not because he clumsy with it. So these are the four Idaho students, okay? So the three women share with two others roommates. See, one of those boys that so happened that night, her boyfriend was there with her. That's Zayna and her boyfriend. He spent the night. Okay. Okay, for more than 6 weeks, no suspect was publicly identified and leads appear to have gone cold. Now, in the mid-December, Kohberger, a 28-year-old, okay, I could take it off for them now, a 28-year-old criminology PhD student at Washington State University. The first thing came to my mind, why did he waste time to go give his life away by stabbing 4 individuals to death? Why did he hate them that much? What do they know? Because one of the girls had a stalker. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, during this time at home, his family members noticed that he was behaving somewhat bizarrely. So the family noticed Bryan behavior. So it's Bryan on any type of substance. That's what it sounds like. Did he do any? Was he who he was working for? Was he off of his supplies? They're not bringing it up, but it's something mentally not there. The source said that Mr. Kohberger was constantly wearing latex gloves. Yes, he was walking around with latex gloves on, y'all. So you tell me that they didn't look at his fingers, his fingertips, nothing like that? And they said, including inside their own house, he will wear latex gloves. That's what his family's saying, y'all. So Asho said, why is your son walking around with latex gloves? Why is he, what's up with his hands? Did they check his fingers? Did they check his nails? Okay. One of his 2 older sisters began to wonder if he could have played a part in the murder. Now, this is his own sister. And it's in the murder. And at one point, she raised her concern with her own other family members. See, when your family recognize something ain't right with you, then look, it's something not right. She loudly pointed out that at the time of the murders, her brother was living just a few miles from the crime scene. See, I didn't know he just lived just a few miles from the crime scene because they didn't tell us that. And that he drove a white Hyundai Elantra. The make and the color the color of the vehicle at the center of the investigation. Okay, because somebody say they don't seen that car at that house before. Anybody can go in the house, y'all. Anybody can hide in the house. They wouldn't know it. Along with their bizarre tendencies to wear latex gloves at all the time, she believed that the family should consider that Kohberger might have killed the 4 victims. So why would they think that he killed the victim just because he had on latex gloves? That's my question. Why? Now, unusual behavior, it can put him down. Kohberger's father allegedly defended his son and insisted he could not have been involved. But the concern was clearly big enough for several of the family members to reportedly decide to search the 28-year-old vehicle to look for possible evidence. Now, don't forget, now the sisters, one of the sisters already been into the house, in his car. Okay. By that point, police said Kohberger had already been spotted cleaning his car out with bleach. Why do you clean your car out with bleach? Because you want to make sure you don't have no blood in it. Still, they should have put a light inside there and do that kind of instrument work. So he cleaned his car out with bleach, and so the family members didn't find anything of note. The source said it is not clear if Bryan Kohberger was aware of the family members' suspicions that he could have been behind the murders, or what prior behavior may have led his own sister to suspect him capable of carrying out such a brutal crime. You still ask yourself, people, what did he get out of killing them? That's the part I want to know. It's a lot of people kill just to kill, but he killed 4. Okay. At the time of his arrest, the source said Mr. Kohberger was wide awake, standing in the kitchen, wearing latex gloves. Think about it, people. He was sitting there wearing latex gloves in the house, but they claimed they didn't see nothing on his fingers. They didn't tell us that, but it may be on it. That must be something that the prosecutor are hiding. Latex glove and putting his personal trash in a plastic bag to take it out to the neighbor's trash can. Why is he putting trash in the neighbor's trash can? That's weird. An attorney close to Mr. Kohberger family declines to come in on the revelation outline. Okay. Now, on that Monday, May the 22nd, he will appear in court for his arraignment, which we already saw, on 4 counts of first-degree murder and burglary. Now, I still ask the question, why did Bryan do that? What was his motive behind doing it? Okay. Kohberger had been due to appear in court for weeks-long preliminary hearing on 26th of June, where the prosecution will lay out the case and evidence against the suspect. However, on the 16th of May, a grand jury indicted Kohberger on the charges, paving the way for the case to proceed without and leading to the cancellation of the preliminary hearing. Okay. Kohberger is accused of breaking into the student's home in the early hours of November 13, which November 13 is on the way. Okay. And on November 13, and stabbing of the 4 Idaho, the 4 students to death in a horrible attack that rocked the cottage town of Moscow and sent shockwaves across America. Okay, people. The motive remains unknown. That's my part. I want to know, what was the motive behind all of this? The motive remains unknown, and it is still unclear that what connection the WSU PhD student had to the University of Idaho student, if any, prior of the murders. Okay. Now, The affidavits is released in January, which we already revealed. The affidavit revealed that Kohberger DNA was found on the night sheet left behind at the scene of the murders. Why would he leave it? Do he want to be caught? Do he want this to happen? What's going on? Because you wouldn't want to get caught. If you got that knife in your hand, walking around stabbing somebody, you're going to wonder, you pulled that knife out that sheet, right? So if you put it out that sheet, then you know you got to stick it back in there, right? Right. So it's also revealed that his white Hyundai Elantra was caught on surveillance footage at the crime scene, and that one of the surviving roommates came face to face with the killer. Mask dress, had on a mask, dressed in head to toe black with bushy eyebrows as he left the home in the aftermath of the murders. Now there are new details going on in this case. New details have also emerged about what was found during the initial search of his apartment and a rental storage unit. The court documents show that 2 items found in his apartment tested positive for blood. Okay. The 2 items were a mattress cover on the bed and uncased pillow, both which has visible reddish brown stains. That's weird. Okay. The document do not reveal who the blood belonged to. Investigators see the string of other items from his house, including possible human and animal hair strands, a disposable glove, and a computer. The murder weapon, a fixed blade knife, has still never been found. As a criminal justice PhD student at WSU, Kohberger, hold on, y'all. Kohberger lives just 15 minutes from, just 15 now, from the victim over at the Idaho. Let me ask y'all something. Do y'all think, let's go back and think about this. Real deal, do you all think if you got a house full of kids there and they made it out of party house, they all over the house, right? They doing whatever they want to do. They don't even know, the kids who stay there don't even know who being in and out the house because they don't care, because it's a party house. And that's not even safe there. So I don't understand it right there. He had moved there from Pennsylvania and began his studies there in the summer, having just completed his first semester before the arrest. Okay. Before this, he studied criminology and DeSales at DeSales University, first as an undergraduate and then finishing his graduate studies in June 2022. Okay, that's so far with the study part. He also carried out a research project to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision making when committing a crime. This Bryan. Now he's facing life in prison or the death penalty for the murder that have rocked the small college town of Moscow in his headlines around the globe. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. What would make that man? Who is behind this? Who all behind this?
longer the time elapses between the crime and when professionals get there to search, there's a higher probability that the scene is going to be tainted with people walking in there that don't know what they're doing. They're moving, potentially moving bodies, moving sheets. What else, could happen? We don't know. I don't know what happened between the time of the crime and the time 911 was called. I can only suspect that the non-law enforcement that found these victims panicked and they didn't know what to do. They're not law enforcement. They're not going to think about preserving a crime scene. They're going to, number one, they're going to think about how they preserve their own lives. Is the bad guy still there? So to answer your question, yes, that 2 or 3 hours it took between the time of the crime and the time that the call was made, there was likely a lot of transference going on. And that's something that the FBI is going to try to overcome that concept or argument by the defense by doing this crime scene reconstruction and tell the jury, okay, if there was transference, it was minimal. This is exactly what appeared to have happened.
But Schmidt says if there's anything left to be found at the crime scene, FBI investigators will find it.
I think it really comes down to the FBI, in my opinion, is the best evidence response team in the world. They are the ones that they train everybody else in the world as well, and they have the lab as well as they have teams there that they may or may not fly out, as well as all 56 field offices have it.
All right, y'all. We're gonna stop right here. We will talk about the next time we come back. We will talk about the mini movie that they have, that went out. I want to really talk about that tomorrow. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.